You said you was gonna do an intro.
No, I'm just saying. You know
Okay.
I'm Mac. They know you Milani. They for people who ain't never been on here before. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying?
So for the people. So
You a
we're
clown.
just gonna talk about a couple like videos and things that have been going around. So the first thing that everybody's talking about right now is the Nike 30th anniversary. What is so funny?
Cause I'm thinking about you know
Because people are upset because they use Kaepernick as the face, and it says, what does it say? Something about stand for something, even if you sacrifice everything, something to that nature. So everybody's upset about it. Um, I think it's a good tactic on Nike's end because they know they're gonna make money off of that. It has nothing to do with him or being pro-black or anything like that. They trying to make some money. They know this is the way to go because everybody is Black Lives Matter and things like that. So that's what everybody.
quick question.
Huh?
Are you black?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what was
I
the
was just
question?
asking for
Okay.
somebody might be like, oh, this
Um,
white. Motherfucker.
and then people were saying like, from when he was kneeling that he was going against the vets and blase blase. Some vets don't really care. Some vets are very offended. It depends on who you talk to. Currently, people are posting pictures and videos of them burning and cutting up their clothes. So, like, saying they're no longer supporting Nike because Nike doesn't support the military because they're using Kaepernick and things like that. Which Kaepernick's stance was never against the military to begin with, so I don't even know why that it's so upsetting to everybody. But I just think that it was a good tactic for Nike. They're gonna make some money. Kaepernick has a lot of supporters, and he been making money from being in the NFL, and whether he was on the bench or not, as everybody wants to say, he was making money. And now that he's not in the NFL, he's still making money. Because y'all are really dumb if you think he went all this time jobless. He was making money.
Why you
So,
calling you calling if you was dumb?
okay. Anyone who thinks that because he is no longer in the NFL that he was not working or didn't have a plan in place or didn't get sponsored by anybody.
How you know they weren't spontaneous? He didn't have no job. And how you know? What you think
So
he worked
Nike
at?
just picked him yesterday and said we're gonna take a picture of
He
you and
been
put
no,
you.
he been signed since he got
Okay.
into the league.
Okay. So he's had a source of income coming from somewhere,
But how you know, like, if it
and
wasn't some type of
he's
conditions of his
donated
contract
and
he had
he's
to make?
donated and stuff. So I'm not saying like he's hasn't done anything with his money or that like he's a horrible person or anything, but for people to think like he just had no money, so he sacrificed everything. He didn't sacrifice everything. That's just my opinion. Go ahead. What's yours?
I, I already, I already spoke my piece on that to my homies. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, the people on here don't know what your
yeah,
piece
I'm finna.
is.
Can I get to it?
Okay.
What I was gonna say is, I'm tired of hearing about dude, really, cause like he, this man ain't had this much support or this many fans, not to my knowledge anyway, while he was a player, you feel me? And then what I was saying to my homeboys was we ain't finna act like Kaepernick was some Hall of Fame quarterback who can't get a job in the NFL. Dude was decent. He was decent in his best year. He was decent. So all this uproar about him not having a job, that's crazy, bro. Cause it's everyday Joes that make the same type of stands that don't got jobs. You know what I'm saying? But my view on stuff is a little bit different than other people. You know.
And
Mahmoud Abdul Rauf, he ended up out the NBA because he didn't want to. He converted to Islam and he wasn't rocking with the national anthem. They suspended him. You know what I'm saying? He ended up out the league. It ain't the first time it didn't happen. Kaepernick didn't do his homework clearly. You know what I'm saying? Um, it ain't like People kill me when they act like they don't know what world we live in, man. But we not making it no better by constantly doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Take something serious or be taken serious. Being outraged over, oh, I ain't watching football no more because Kaepernick ain't got no job. What? Come on, man. Come on. That's corny as hell. Cause y'all still buy Yeezys and buy them little T-shirts with holes in them that Kanye make, but y'all feel like he make outrageous, you know what I'm saying, statements in the media, but y'all still buying dude gym shoes. You know what I'm talking about? So it's like it's corny to me, man. And I feel like dude gets so much press, and he's sitting back eating this up. He getting so much press for being an irrelevant player, but now he an activist, and he getting so much love from everybody. Y'all, I mean, dude, again, he was decent. I'm being generous even saying decent. Like, come on, bro. He wasn't. That's part of the reason I feel like why he unemployed. All color don't make no difference to me. He was decent at best because there was a lot of people that started kneeling. He started it cool. Everybody started kneeling, but he the mark that ain't got no job. You know what I'm saying? Because he was mediocre as at best. You feel me? In the words of Richard Sherman, mediocre at best, Joe. And so he unemployed. That's tough. Next,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying?
I mean, people can get mad all they want. Nike is owned by a white person. So people who are saying like, it's a race thing and whatever, I guess people who are racist are not going to buy Nikes anymore. You're really dumb because the owner is someone that
Can you
is
stop calling people out their names?
okay. You are uneducated because, or don't know facts because Nike is owned by someone who is white. He just happens to be the face, and it's not like he's the first black face or the first athlete face or anything like that. So I don't really get what the outrage is. Um, I mean, I don't really know why everybody's so mad, but I guess.
Let me see something real quick. I wonder.
You got no views.
I know I'm trying to see something though. Are they telling me to rotate it? I'm trying to see something.
What are you trying to see in the middle of a video?
I'm trying to see if it was like tags or something you could put into it.
Um,
So yeah,
so, yeah, that's just my take on that. Um, so another thing that I seen a video going around about was some children who were in high school who were in the park, and a local seen all the kids in the park during school hours. He approached them and asked if he could record them, and they, the ones who were on camera said yes. And he just asked them, why aren't you guys in school? And they all said, we got put out because of dress code policy. So there was a lot of kids. This wasn't just one or two kids. This was quite a few who were in the park at this time. So the guy who was recording them, he ended up going up to the school outraged and questioning why all these children were put out of school during school hours simply because of uniform. And my take on that is, they say it takes a village. So this guy, from my understanding, I don't know, his life, I don't know his backstory, but just from the videos, it seems like he was just a concerned person in the neighborhood because he lives there and he knows the type of activity that goes on there. They say it takes a village. He's seen a bunch of kids outside. He's just trying to figure out why they're all outside during school hours. And when they told him it was simply over something dress code, he was outraged. Why are you putting all these kids outside in a bad neighborhood? Can I finish?
What you mean? Go ahead. Stop me from talking.
Because they're out of dress code. A lot of them, it was something as small as having like a white stripe on the sole of their shoes and things of that nature. So it wasn't it wasn't like they had like mini skirts or anything like absurd to where you would think, of course, any school would be upset that you came to school that way. Now, I get every school has their dress code. Even when I was in high school, although we didn't wear uniform in high school, they had a certain dress code. Like you couldn't show your cleavage. Your shorts had to be at least your fingertip length, things like that. And if you weren't, they would um, ask that you go home, or if you couldn't go home because like your parents couldn't come get you or whatever, then they'd put you in what they call like in school suspension and things like that. So I just feel like why couldn't they do that for these children? Just I don't know if they did or did not call their parents. Assuming they didn't, because that was a lot of kids, and I highly doubt every single parent would have agreed to them sending their child home or letting them out of school. Um, but if they did, and the children decided they all just want to hang out in the park, I don't know. I don't know that, the backstory for that. But I just think it's absurd that you send out a bunch of kids, especially in, I guess, a bad neighborhood, because of their shoes being the wrong color. That's just my take on it. I feel like there's other methods they could have used. Maybe they could have did something with the parents themselves, because we don't know what the kids' living situation is, or how they came out dressed, I guess, inappropriately for the school dress code. But I just think sending them all outside, I just think that was a bad idea. So, you take?
I'm gonna make this short and sweet. I wouldn't have been one of them kids in that pod because I already know my mama rules in her crib. So it ain't even really a lot to say on that. Them kids should have went to the crib and made whatever adjustments to their uniform they had to make for that dress code and went back to school, Joe. They made a conscious decision to. They got kicked out, so they decided to go to the pod. My mom would have, if she would have seen me and my brothers on that video, she would have been at that pod. Pronto, period. But that's part of what's wrong with the world today, man. People don't understand. People don't like structure or having to follow rules. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is.
Okay. So now, another video I didn't show you, but there was a video of a daycare worker who
Dunking on them
had.
shorties.
Huh?
You talking about dunking on them shorties?
No, I didn't even see that one. No, it was a daycare worker who had like some kind of stick. I don't know if it was like a ruler, like a yardstick.
Whooping some shorties.
And she whooped a 2-year-old.
Can't hit nobody else kids.
A 2-year-old, and was straight like wailing on his leg with it. And they said, the news report said it was at least 22 or 20 times from counting in the video. And like kind of just like picked him up by his arm and made him sit on the floor, like forced him down on the floor. And then a couple minutes after, she picked him up by his arm again, whooped him on his thigh some more with the stick, then took him over to their changing area and like threw him on the changing table. Like,
that's tough.
And then that was it. That's where the video ended. So I don't know if she was changing.
You cannot whoop other people's shorties without their permission, especially. To be just straight up whooping on a shorty like that, though, that at that age, that's wild. That's a person that don't got no kids. They self clearly, but yeah, that's OC.
And sorry to cut you off. And another part is there was another worker like
watching them
right next to her, so allowed this to happen while another worker was there.
OC. But I seen the video. It was a funny video. This dude, they had like a little rim up in the daycare. My son clearly want to speak his piece. They had like a little rim up in the daycare. The dude was going hands, doing 360s and everything with the kids. It was hilarious. I had to show you. He was going crazy, dunking on shorty. Son, what you got to say? You want some cookies?
You say hi? Ew! Yucky! Yucky! So if anybody got anything else they would like us to comment on,
Who is anybody else? Anybody watching?
just let us know. The video's gonna post on YouTube. And we'll make another video about it.
So y'all make sure y'all like, subscribe, go follow our social medias. I'm on Instagram, making it hanging, on Twitter, Son of a King, Facebook, Kiwan Mac. She on Instagram, pretty in Brooklyn. She don't got no Twitter because she a female. And Facebook, Milani Smith.
Don't add, don't add me.
Go. Y'all,
When people gonna start adding me and I'm gonna deny
that's
all
cool.
of y'all.
We ain't posting this. We ain't posting this, yo.